In Senegal, brave women face the test of climate effects. Sea, land, and floods, the multifaceted ordeal of women. The resources of the sea are inexhaustible. This assertion is now quite absurd, but for a long time it was widely shared in family and encouraged in popular beliefs. The women processors of fishery products in this Yara Beach and Marist commune Dakar know exactly what is going on. These resources, which in the past provided them with substantial income, in any case largely sufficient to cover their vital needs, are becoming rare. Instead of the fish they found there and processed before it was marketed, these brave ladies just go and get it elsewhere to keep their business running. Awa Diallo, one of them, this activity that she inherited from her mother-in-law a long time ago no longer makes her smile today. Since I came here over 30 years ago, I have been working in the processing of fish products, drying, smoking. But fish is becoming very rare. It has been 4 or 5 years since we are faced with this situation. Before at this time, we were at work. Now, we have no activity. There were tables as far as the eye could see for drying fish. Now, they are all being washed away by the waves since they are no longer used. We no longer have products to be able to work. We have reached a point where the smoked fish that we eat at home, we buy elsewhere. The crisis is felt, even in households. To revolve our activity, we are asking for help from goodwill, but we no longer want loans. Bank loans have impoverished us. In addition to the problems we are facing, we find ourselves in a situation where we have to pay back the banks. Me, the bank always runs behind me. I'm sick and I have to remove my teeth. My son sent me the money for the car with the dentist. Unfortunately, I used it for pay off this debt. Moreover, the financing which is intended for the revival of our activities, we use them for the house because we no longer have a source of income. We much prefer financing. For her part, Aitondoi, found on the seat, is busy weaving loincloths for sale to fill this daily drudgery. Very impact, these brave ladies manage their daily lives with difficulty. However, they found ways to adapt, develop actions of resilience to face this global surge. The Big Blue fails them in activity in slow motion and sometimes even substitute for the benefit of another as an alternative, in particular weaving or the sale of peanuts, among others, which takes the place of their core business. To fill the time for lack of fish products, we have to find alternatives because we have to pay our children's school fees and daily expenses. Nevertheless, she hopes to return to her activity of fishing processing. Aware of the situation, she resigns herself, but says she is ready to work even if it means finding fish elsewhere. If we have funding, we will go and buy fish to resell. But we no longer have hope given the degree of pollution of this beach and the presence of trawlers. We really need goodwill to get us out of this mess. Leaving a beach is supposed to serve as a fishing wharf to go and get supplies from a fishmonger who helplessly ignores the origin and the condition of capture of the products sold. If this is not the height of the paradox, but let's be fair and realistic, the scarcity of fish products, tangible consequences of climate change, and the shameless overexploitation of our waters by the ferocious predators of modern times leave no room for maneuver to these women who only possess their courage, their dignity, and their legitimate will to support themselves and their families legally and honorably. And in the name of the honor that condemns them to stay, whatever the cost to within the limit compatible with morality, they prefer to embark on other experiences, in particular weaving the sale of peanuts among other activities. In the image of the brave ladies this time officiating in agriculture tell their stories and are still saddened by the effects of the climate, but nevertheless adapt to this situation through resilient activities. As the saying goes, the earth does not lie, and when it is abused and destroyed, its answer could not be clear. Here too, women decided to stand up to refuse the fatalism that condemns them to age-old resignation, find themselves it's very hard. It is a vicious cycle. It is necessary to go into depth to acquire the input essential to the activity. The harvest, due to the impoverishment of the soil, are major and insignificant. If by chance nature is more generous, insects, high zero, and out under our skies, ruthlessly destroys the efforts of several months of hard work. And the banks whose primary quality is not to do philanthropy claim their due, notwithstanding all the dehumanized dryness of slot machines. We clear these lands with the authorization of the Water and Forest Service, which also allow us to exploit them. This dates back 205. We farm 2 hectares and grow various varieties. The area is far from sufficient for 32 members. If all the women were whatever active, it would be even less sufficient. Women have a real problem of access to land. For example, we exploit these 2 hectares. They are national property. It is state's property because it is part of the MEUNCOM classified forest. The state lent us these lands for having taken out to house those affected by state infrastructure or flood victims. At the very beginning, we didn't even have grasshoppers, let alone parasitic insects that could attack our crops. Today, we see them in large numbers and several varieties. Added to this is the pollution that attacks the flowers and our fruit trees. You have seen tree leaves change color? The lemons have turned yellow when they should remain green. It means it is not natural. A change linked to nature has intervened to make it happen. We are not spared from the floods. The MEUNCOM backwaters spied into the field this year. Papaya trees are impacted. We have lost a lot of plants. The state plays all the roles. Civil society is relegated to the background, and women even more so. We cannot talk about the impact of climate change without the impacted ones. We hear about climate justice as impacted by pollution and other climate changes for which we are not responsible. What are our rights? With the RICODEF association, we attending by video conference, but the language problem also arose because we do not master English and French too much. Only with the association that represented us have much more explanation of what is done at this meeting. We need offices and above all infrastructure to ensure better profitability of our agricultural production. We also need training, capacity in relation to climate change, but also and above all to benefit from climate justice. to their scourges, the floods also upset the tranquility of our mothers, our wives, the whole family, who sometimes struggle to find refuge as much to have themselves as to preserve the fruit of their labor. For the past 2 years, we are suffering terribly from floods. Our houses are invaded by rainwater. A significant number of our neighbors do not have to abandon their homes. We, for lack of means, rental deposit, monthly payment, we are obliged to take our troubles patiently, but continue to live underwater. Others have been separated from part of their family, especially children. They cannot wade all day long in the waters, and the nauseating smell it gives off is not recommended for asthmatics. We have lost our furniture. Even our school children who have lost several of their school supplies because once in the water they become unrecoverable. We want the sewage system to be open to our canal so that the sewage can be cleared from our homes so that we can resume our lives as they are. Home, the ultimate heaven for us, welcomes physical suffering and financial houseless, not to mention everything else. A common set of pitfalls suffered by women, wives and mothers. The house is therefore invaded by scarred rainwater. The floods remain a nightmare for so many Senegalese Gorgorlu, resourceful, until the final blow to women. Definitely, being a woman under our skies is almost a constant challenge to be met on all fronts because having to adapt and provide resilient solutions in the face of this climatic shock which she must face on a daily basis.